welcome to another episode of Real BMX Racing the Podcast. Today's show is sponsored by Eddie's Blocks, BMX Connect, Extreme Squared, Answer BMX, 110% Nutrition with a special shout out to Toby Henderson over at Send It. Today's guest is USA BMX 17 to 20 women's expert rider Rylee France. Rylee, welcome to the show.
How long have you been riding? How long have you been riding bicycles, and when did you go from that to racing, or did you just automatically go into racing?
I started racing almost 11 years ago. I kind of just came out to the track once. I had my little Walmart Huffy bike, and I just came out to the track once, and I loved it. And since then, we started racing locally. Probably about 5 years ago, I started the national scene, and I've really been into it the last 4 years, I'd say. But yeah.
Okay. So what's your home track?
Metro BMX in Bakersfield, California.
And they have the national coming up, right?
Yep, this weekend.
So we reached out to them and was like, now it's just like, who's hot at that track right now? And your name came up. So I was like, well, let me reach out and see if we can get an interview with you. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
So how long have you been? That's always been your home track?
Yeah. I've always lived here and raced here.
Okay. What was I going to say? Shannon, you got any questions?
I'm just thinking you must know this track pretty well then.
Yeah. And we volunteered here really since I've started. So I work on the track. I do a bunch of stuff here. So.
Nice.
Oh, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you work on your own bike?
I do, in fact, yeah. Most of the time, I travel on my own. Okay. So every time I travel on my own, obviously I've got to work on it. But when I'm here, my dad will do that.
Okay. Oh, I feel like there's a delay. So you're in the 17 to 20X, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
I don't know how. I'm assuming you're 17.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I don't know how long you've been racing in that class, but what do you think the biggest difference so far between the 16X and the 17 to 20?
I've been racing in it for almost a year. I turned 18 in March, so
okay.
I've had my fair time. But I think there's a lot more respect, through the girls, because in 15, 16 it's very, chaotic. We just got in this double age group class and everyone's going really hard for it. And I think as we get older a little bit, there's a little bit more respect through the girls. It's pretty nice.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. You are at the track right now?
I am, yeah.
And so you are camping out for the national?
I'm not camping, but we do have, this is a friend's trailer that I'm using so I can hear.
Okay, I just figured you were camping out. And so, how far do you live from the track?
20 minutes, I'd say. Not that far, really.
Is your track all dirt?
No, it is not. Not at all.
Really? Because I'm used to California being mostly all dirt tracks, is what I was told.
It's kind of half and half, I'd say. Yeah, we have. We actually just redid part of the track, so right now we have slurry and glue on it, and our corners are gunite.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds like if you fall, it's not going to be a good thing.
I explain it like it's kind of like a sidewalk.
Okay.
Just a little bit more grippy. I guess same color as that, but yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know now? I know them because you're not really you are part of the track-ish. You know how big that track is? Is it like 1,200 feet, 1,900 feet?
12 to 1,300.
1,300?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly. I just know it's 12 to 1,300. It's pretty long.
Yeah. That sounds pretty long. Do you jump? Do you jump?
I'm working on it. That's definitely one of my weaker spots in racing, but I've definitely been putting the work on that. So
and
only a little bit.
Okay. Now, but manualing something you can do?
Yeah, I love manualing. I'm a lot more comfortable with that.
Me and Shannon both look at each other like, yeah, we got to learn that, dude. In order for us to be competitive, we're both like, That's something we got to learn because we're both struggling with that one right there. But
Yeah, I mean,
but
skills are a lot harder to learn when you get older. I feel like you got to break that barrier to get through. Like, you can do this, you don't have to worry about it. But
right.
I like it.
How did you learn how to manual? Did you have a manual trainer, or did you just do it on your bike? All
I just would go out to the track and try manually the jumps, really.
so did you manual like flat ground at all? Like I know guys that go out in parking lots and they'll do one car space and then do two, then three. Or was it all just
Yeah.
track?
I started manualing when I was probably like 12-ish. I mean, it wasn't very good, but I was learning how. And one of my coaches, they had me doing that. They would have me go outside, and I would have to try to manual, this far and this far on flat ground. And like I would do bunny hops and stuff like that just to get better at learning those types of skills.
You mentioned
Which is really
coaches.
smart.
Do you still have a coach?
Yeah, I'd say so. I do a lot of stuff myself, but I do have someone that's helping me right now with like gym workouts and the way that I should put things together, because I was doing everything, but I don't think I was doing it like in the right order, I guess you would say. So I have someone helping me like put that together. But
So with the season just kicking off, what are you most looking forward to this season?
I'm looking forward to the races, really. I like that, racing 1720, every race is different. You can't predict anything. I mean, I just love that about it, really. I love racing.
You know what I love? I love the fact that we can hear the gate going on in the background.
Yeah, they just started practice like 40 minutes ago because we're having
Okay.
practice today, tomorrow, and then the national starts. So, yep, there's a 4-hour practice going on.
Oh, really?
So people are already out there. Today's Wednesday, right?
Oh, yeah.
People are already out there ready for this one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So where, I mean, I'm not, is that Southern Cali or Northern Cali? We're in the middle.
Pretty much the middle. I mean, technically we're called SoCal, but we're in the middle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as far as weather goes, are you guys like a 365, or is it when the winter comes, rainy season?
No,
you guys...
we run all year round. I mean, obviously, unless it's pouring rain, we're out here and we're racing.
Do you how many other tracks in your area do you ride at?
There's not really a track. Well, there's a track like an hour and a half from me, and that's Lemoore BMX. Mm-hmm. But really, other than those two, I don't really travel to practice. I mean, unless I'm going to a state race or, somewhere that I need to go. I really mostly ride here, sometimes Lemoore.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is that an all dirt track, or do they have paved berms also?
They have paved berms. It's not a dirt track, but I don't know exactly what they have done to it. It's a 5-meter hill track too, so it's good to get that different type of training in, I like that one too. And
also, one other question: you said you guys just finished working on the track, like redoing something. Did you redo any obstacles, or did you just kind of like fine tune what you had already?
We redid some of the obstacles right after Grands, so we've been fine tuning it, and then coming up to this weekend, we have everything like fully slurried and glued and prepped.
So what's different than it was?
We changed the first straight. We mellowed it out a little bit. Now it's just a camelback and then a small double, and then it goes into our regular step double. We filled in the double on the third straight, so the jump right out of the second corner, and that's just a big tabletop now. And then our last straight used to be a tabletop and then a really flat area, and it was just a sprint to the finish line. And now it's a 3-pack of small doubles.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so makes it a lot more interesting now.
So I was gonna say, so how do you feel about that change?
I like it. Although I did like the sprint at the end. I thought it was very different. Not a lot of tracks have that. But I do like the layout now.
I like that also about that track when I saw it. The fact that there was just a
Mhm.
sprint to the finish line, because the old school tracks, they always had that. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the first three straights would have all the obstacles. Sometimes the last straight was just all just straight. And maybe a
Mhm.
little hump or something, but that's it.
Pretty much,
That's
you had
so
to
that
go. You still
Yeah.
had to go get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that. It really makes the racing interesting. I mean, there was a lot of battling. It's just a sprint. You know, whoever can sprint at the end of the track when you're already tired.
Well, I'm not sure if I'll ever ride that track, but thank you for mellowing out that first straight. Just by the way it looks, I was just like, oh my God, they have so much going on in that first straight. It was just like an
Yeah,
unbelievable amount of obstacles in just the first straight alone. They have a lot going on in that track, period, it seems like.
there it is. The person who usually designs them is Jordan Miranda, which is the owner's sons, and you know he was a pro and he raced his whole life pretty much. He had a big career and he likes to put together pieces of tracks that he traveled to. So like he
Oh,
has
nice.
ideas from like some European tracks or I don't even know where he's been everywhere, but you know what I mean. He takes parts of them and implements them into this track. So that's why we kind of have such a different layout than other places.
And that, you know what, that's I'm glad you told me that, because that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like a more
Hmm.
mild like track from somewhere else, like overseas
Yeah,
or
yeah,
in South America or something. It just looked like not as just crazy, like as far as peaky jumps and the high, and it's just, but
yeah.
there's a lot of obstacles. You have to work for that. I was
You
sitting
do,
there
yeah.
watching videos. I was like, oh my God, there's a lot going on, bro. You are gonna be tired by the end of that race if you make
Oh, you're
it.
tired, definitely.
So
You have to do a lot of conditioning.
Yeah.
do you do classic cruiser?
I only race class.
Okay.
Hmm.
What's your setup right now?
I ride a supercross with tangent parts, pretty much.
What tires?
6 O's or 1.6. However you guys want to put it.
Front and back?
Yep, I run the same.
Top two?
I don't know that. I don't
That's all right.
know.
That's all right. All I can say is you probably, since you work on your bike, that right there is more than what I do to mine. So you're ahead of me on that. So
Yeah.
so with that being said though, let me ask you, do you change your, because you've been to other national stuff, do you change your gears or do you just sit on that one gear all year because you know it?
I do change gears. Not a lot though. I believe in changing gears for a shorter track, like the Vegas National or an indoor national. I think you should. Well, I think I should put my gear down. I usually put it down half a tooth to maybe a tooth. Really just depends how I'm feeling. But when I'm on a longer track, it's usually the same.
Okay.
Hmm.
Have you been to Rock Hill?
I have. I love that track so much.
So that track there, is that coming down the gate right there? Did you have any like thoughts about that being up that high? Like, are you ready for if you were to turn pro sometime in the next year to go up to the bigger hills? Like, how do you feel about tackling all that?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm scared of those 8-meter hills. I mean, that's why I'm not up there yet. I give props to anyone that goes up there and try them because that's a lot. But I mean, I like 5-meter hills. I think they're fun. Like Rock Hill, it's a really fun track. You carry a lot of speed. I don't know how long it'll take me to get up there. Eventually, I do want to do that. This would be my last year racing junior. So, I mean, if I want the chance, I kind of have to do it this year. But really just depends if I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, oh, were you saying
And
something, Shannon?
I was going to ask you, what's the closest Supercross track to you?
Probably Lemoore. It's a 5-meter, so I would count that as a supercross track.
Is that also in California?
Yeah. It's NorCal.
Okay.
Are there any 8-meter hills anywhere near you?
Um, It's not. It's 5 hours away, but there's the Chula Vista Olympic Training Center track,
That's
and
right.
there's that one. I've never been there, but I do know it's there.
That's the one track that I ask people, like, yo, before I die, like, one track that I need to race, and they're like, Chula Vista. A lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
I've actually never been there. It's crazy. I live here and I've never been there, but it looks really fun. Yeah.
Have you raced at the Paris track? Paris, California.
A long time ago. I haven't been there in a while. That track is fun. They have a huge like bridge kind of. I know they just redid it. I'd seen someone posting about that, or they're prepping it because they have a national this year. But
so when you're not riding your bike and you're not, I'm assuming, in school,
Mhm.
what do you do in your downtime?
honestly, I train a lot. I mean, I go to the gym. I have like a personal trainer gym that I go to. I do my own gym work, a lot of sprints. Really, my life is consumed around BMX.
Right. I mean, it's your passion. It's what you love.
It is, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, some
Mhm.
of them are like, well, just because I'm always asking them, like, what's your favorite movie? And they all pause, like, oh, God, when's the last time they see the movie? And I'm like,
I don't, yeah.
But what about like reading? Do you like read a book or something in your downtime? Something to get you, what's your mental escape from BMX?
I mean, I have a truck that I bought recently that my brother is helping like me build up because it wasn't running when I bought it. So that's kind of cool. We get to do that, and that takes up some of my downtime.
That's pretty cool.
But I mean,
Are you
not
learning?
much really. It's all BMX.
So you're learning how to work on your truck in the process?
Yeah, I am.
That is awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
You're doing
That could
better
be-
than me.
Is that going to be your BMX truck?
Probably it's not very good on gas mileage, so I don't know
That's
how
the
far I'll
truck.
take it, but
Well, you're only 20 minutes from the track, so.
yeah, it'll come out here. I don't know if I'll take it like to Lemoore or those faraway places, but it'll definitely come out here.
Cool.
So after you started on a Huffy, what was your first your first big brand bike other than Huffy?
I gotta think. It was either a Redline or a GT. I think it was a GT Micro Mini, actually. I think so, yeah.
I was gonna say, because of the pause, I'm gonna assume you don't have that bike anymore, do you?
I do not know.
As we get older, we sit there and we like to ask that, be like, do you have that one bike that was the bike that you had when you were just a kid? Like you just like, oh, should have kept that one. But
I did keep one. Me and my brother used to race, but he ended up quitting like 3 years ago or something. We both rode this Redline Flight Junior, and we both raced really well on it, so we actually kept that frame.
Do you have like some of your first trophies or awards?
Yeah, I do. One of my first trophies was a little third place trophy, and it was green, and I got it on my first race out here. And I don't keep many trophies in my room, but that's one of the ones I do keep up there, like on my dresser.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was about to say, are you more of a stamps or trophy as you get older?
Definitely stamps, just because, I mean, traveling wise too, it's so much harder to get those trophies on a plane and taking them apart and everything. It's a lot easier just to get stamps.
Okay. So if you go to, I don't know, are you going to Grands this year?
Yeah, I would assume, yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. So if you were to win Grands or when you win Grands, would you take stamps or trophy then?
Nah, I'd get a trophy. That's a once in a lifetime type thing.
Yes.
I would find a way to get that home, definitely.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So out of all the tracks that you've ridden, which one would you say is your favorite one so far?
Oh, that's hard. I think I have 3.
Okay.
That would be Metro. I mean, kind of biased, but I love this track.
Right.
Crow River BMX out in St. Michael. And Probably Rock Hill. Honestly, I love those tracks. They're all very different.
So what do you love about Rock Hill?
It's weird. I don't know. I love going there. I love riding that track. I like how it's laid out. I like the surface of it. It's very smooth. I think it's very technical. I do like technical tracks. But I don't know. And I went to my first Worlds there when it was back in 2017, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've always just wanted to go back, and I finally got to go back this year. So it's pretty exciting. Or last year, the national. But it's pretty exciting.
I mean, that is a lot of people's favorite track. So, but I never really asked anybody why they said that. But I just was curious.
I don't know. It's just a great track. I mean.
Did you already try for Worlds this year, or is that not on the table?
I did. I raced in Arizona and I qualified there. That was kind of I wanted to have a backup in case something happened, so I went to Arizona to qualify, and I did. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're gonna be definitely out here for Rock Hill when that pops up.
Yeah, I am.
Me and Shannon were talking about it earlier about how we think the national is probably going to be one of the biggest nationals, just because all the people who are going to be there for Worlds is going to be like, oh, I got to race people. This is my moment to get in a good solid race before it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm going to the national only because I want track time before, Worlds, and that's great to go out there and race before I have to really race,
So when you come out, would you stay out there all week and try to hit as many practices as you can? Because they usually open practices during the week, right? Before nationals.
Usually I think I've seen it, but no, I don't have the time to go out there. I'm still in school and I graduate this year, and I'm homeschooled, so I have to be here so much to stay in it because it's only a California homeschool. They don't, I have to be here so much or they'll drop me. So I just go out there for the race weekend and do that.
Gotcha.
So since this is your home track, let's just say practice is from 6 to 8, but you're not ready to go home at 8. Would they keep it running just for you so you can continue to keep practicing?
Oh, yeah. They're awesome people out here, yeah. You can even come out early. Like, I could start riding at 5. I could ride whenever I want, really. I just got to ask them, and they usually just let me come out here.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play music at the track when you ride?
Yeah, I don't like riding when it's quiet. There's too much silence. You gotta, have something to go in the background.
So what do you like to listen to when you ride?
I like 90s rap, like Snoop Dogg and all that. I
nice.
love that.
That's what I was right there. Like, yes.
Oh. That's what gets me going.
You just made a friend right there.
Oh man,
it's awesome.
I didn't expect that answer, but very cool.
Right?
I know a lot of people don't, but I love it.
That's music right there. That's music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shannon is a DJ right there, so he's like, oh yes.
I mean, that was the best era, man.
If there's little kids out here, it's usually country, just to keep it nice for all the parents. Yeah.
I've heard some country music that's kind of raunchy also, so you got to be careful, I guess, huh?
Yeah, you got to be careful with all of it. I mean.
So, being that it's early in the game for you, and basically you've been racing for, you said 11 years?
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been has there ever been a time that you wanted to quit?
I wouldn't say quit, but definitely, wanted to step back from it. Yeah. It was when I was 15, so almost 3 years ago. I had a really great year when I was 14. I ended up getting 3rd at Grands, and I got Nag 6, and I'd never been up there before, really. And so coming off of that high and then hitting 15, 16, I really dropped. Because everyone kind of upplays it like it's so hard, and they get in your head. Right. And they definitely did that to me. I'll admit it, they did. And definitely kind of ruined it for me. But, I regrouped myself. I got it back. And
There you go.
I didn't quit.
There you go.
Mhm.
Heck yeah. So one of the biggest things I was going to ask too is that we talk about, because other than the mental health, which we'll get to, but I want to talk about, have you had any like physical injuries? Like, what's been your biggest injury so far?
I mean, I broke my hand before when I was 12. I've broken my foot. I'd say my biggest injuries are my concussions. I've had 3, and I don't like that. I don't like having concussions. I think it's very bad. I mean, I don't like head injuries.
Right.
I got one in 2021. I stayed out in Minnesota for the summer and did the summer series, or the summer pro-am series, sorry.
Mhm.
And ended up crashing and got a really good concussion. And I thought it went away, and it didn't. And I went to race again. And, at that race, I was like, wow, I feel really weird. And that's when we realized, you need to take time off. You actually need to focus on healing yourself. That comes
Right.
first. And
Always.
I don't know, concussions mess with me mentally too with racing, just because, I just got off of this. I don't want to go out. I don't want them to crash me again, But you have to push through it. Everyone has those.
I was telling Shannon that I feel like one of the biggest things to me, other than winning, is also winning over conquering the fear of what you had to get to that hurdle.
Mhm.
Almost feels better than a win sometimes. It's like,
It
I don't
does,
want to
yeah.
pedal in this spot, but I know I got to pedal in that spot. And so you just, you get over that fear and you're like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And so
Yeah.
that to me is always a good thing that I like. Did you say you raced Rock Hill last year?
I did. I raced both of them. There's
Okay.
2 last year, right? Yeah. I raced both of
Yes,
them.
yes. So how did you feel about racing into the sun on Sunday?
It was definitely hard, but I pretty much just pedaled and looked down.
Okay.
I was like, if I can get in front of them, just look down. Because I know
Okay.
what the track is, just
Right.
expect it and hope for the
Okay.
best,
Right.
It was pretty bad, though, down first straight.
Yes.
In my first round, I was like, oh, wow.
Our manager and our team got to the right before the berm and crashed. She just said
Oh,
she said she just hit a sunspot and just everything just went bright and she just lost
yeah,
it.
you can't see. You couldn't see.
So
And I don't like wearing goggles, so it's kind of, wear them or can't see.
right. So okay.
Mhm.
How often do you clean your bike?
I'm guilty of actually not as much as I should. Usually I clean it before every national. I will say that. I definitely
Okay.
do, but
Okay.
probably should clean it more. I will admit.
Now, when you're cleaning this, are we talking like a full strip down, or are we just talking taking a rag and just wiping everything down?
Taking a rag. I usually don't really strip it down. My dad does that. He'll
Okay.
re-grease everything and do all that good stuff to keep it going good. But my normal cleaning is just like the outer stuff, I guess you would say.
Okay.
Hmm.
It seems like your dad is there for you, but also has stepped back. At one point, was he ever a factory dad to you?
No, I wouldn't say he was ever like that. I mean, he's very supportive. He's always, anything I need for my bike, riding, anything really. He'll get it for me, but he's stepped back because I do travel on my own. I need to learn all these things
Right.
and, be able to provide for myself when I'm out there and do those type of things on my own. But
Right.
he just loves helping me, really. So if he can do something, he'll do it. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So have you already mapped out your plans to what tracks you're hitting this year?
A little bit, not too much. I'm going to try to do Missouri in maybe 2 weeks, the beginning of March.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Rock Hill. After that, I mean, I'm gonna try to do Worlds. I like going to Nashville every year. I love that place. I'll hopefully be able to get to that one. And this summer, I'll probably hit like North Dakota. I'll hit the one in Minnesota at Rum River.
Rum River. I was about to ask you that one. So how good is Rum River? Because we
It's
interviewed
awesome.
them there, but like I'd rather just also get the people's vibe on it too. So
It's awesome. I mean, they put a lot of work into that track. They really do.
Okay.
And
For
so
an
the
indoor
North,
track, it's one of the nicest ones I've ever been to.
and what about the North Dakota track? Have you rode that one before?
No, I haven't.
And that's
I'm excited
another
to go
track.
see it, though.
Our old TO, I asked him if there was a track that I should ride, and he mentioned that track for some reason. And I'm sure there's probably only one track up there. I don't know if there's a bunch of tracks in North Dakota, right?
I had no clue, honestly.
But he said it was so nice. He said the weather around the time that they hold the nationals always is really nice.
That's good.
So he just said the people were nice. It's a smaller national. It was just one that he suggested. So that's kind of funny and you're the first person that said that they were going to race that national. Not too many people go up there, I don't think. But I heard it was a really nice national to race.
I'll be there because I usually stay the summer in Minnesota.
Okay.
And my team's from there. So, North Dakota is right next to Minnesota. So I'm sure I'll be there.
Very cool.
Awesome. Well, okay. So do you prefer dirt tracks or do you prefer the new stuff that's out? I mean, it's new to us. It's been out for a while, but
I don't know. I like them both, but falling on a slurry track and glue track is obviously a lot harder. There's a lot more forgiveness in a dirt track, but I like the traction that you get from these types of tracks compared to dirt. So they both have their pros and cons, really.
okay.
So the stuff that you said that they have in the turns at Metro, what did you call it again?
Gunite.
Gunite. So is that grippier than most of the regular asphalt berms that you're used to riding?
To me, yes.
Okay, so
And a lot of asphalt berms have a finish over them, so they're not, really gritty. And these are definitely a lot of grit on them.
Okay, so it sticks to your tires really well, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
It just also seems like if you fall in one of those turns that it's going to rip you to shreds.
Yeah, it'll eat you up, definitely.
Like falling on a cheese grater.
Yeah.
Oh,
it is.
God.
But...
It sounds really cool. Like you could make some really good moves in those turns, and like they would stick. Yeah. But if you do happen to lose it, then oh God.
Were you at Blue Ridge this year?
No, I was not.
You didn't go to Blue Ridge?
No.
Okay. Have you ever
I've only been
to?
there
Okay.
For this year.
Okay.
So can we talk more about your track? So when you're at your track, do you when you're on the gate? Do you watch for lights? Or are you listening for the beat?
I watch the lights.
Have you ever not?
No. I just since I grew up, I've always just been told, watch the lights, and I think it's a lot easier to focus on something you can see compared to something you can hear. Because I mean, when you're at these national races, there's people yelling over here. There's always stuff going on, so it's a lot easier to just focus and tone all that out and just watch a light. For me,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, gotcha. And so with your track, we got this national coming up. I mean, I don't know how many you probably rode this track like 5,000 times, right?
Yeah.
What's the best gate in this track, in your opinion?
I think anywhere between 2 to 6. It's a very level playing field out there. I mean, our first corner, you definitely don't want to go into it in gate 1 because you'll get shot way up in that corner and someone will go under you. You have some pretty big corners. I mean, obviously you don't want to stay out in gate 8 because you're all the way out there, but I say all of them are good, really. You can take a different line with every gate you come out of. I mean, I think they're all pretty good.
So compared to like a Rock Hill style of track, would you use like a different gearing on that track, like a smaller gearing because the hill is smaller? And
no, I keep mine the same for like this and Rock Hill. It's the same because they're both really long tracks. I go based off like length compared to hill size or stuff like that.
So, and what gear are you running, or do you keep that a secret?
No, it's a 44-16. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
With the 1.6 tire. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And that's and you do that for the long track.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I mean, I'm putting it together because I switched from a 45 to a 44 for Blue Ridge. I'm ready to put it already. I'm ready to put it back to 45. But I mean, but Rock Hill is a long track, so I'm like, oh. But when I won the one national that I won there, I was on a 46.2.
Yeah, I mean, I think it differs from crank size too. Like different size cranks, you can push something that'll feel, harder for someone, and
Right.
So on some tracks, when you hit the obstacles, like I heard some people say, that know the track, oh, hit it in the middle, or hit it to the right, hit it to the left, or like some places you want to hit it, some places you want to stay away from. Are there any parts of that track that you just need to stay away from? Any obstacles that you need to hit a certain way to get over faster and smoother?
Again, our track is pretty equal. I like to go like through the rhythm section. I don't like being way on the inside because we have a lot of, our rhythm section is very quick. It's very downhill. You get a lot of speed in it, so you really have to stay on top of it, or it's really easy to crash. So I don't like being way on the inside because I have some room. Say someone cuts me off, I have a little bit of room to, deal with it. But so I'd say like middle, in between the middle and the inside on the second straight is a really good spot.
And so what type of tire pressure do you use at that track?
I'm kind of weird. I like my tires lower at like any track, really. I'd say I'd run probably 65, 70.
Wow.
I don't like having tires that are, because I don't like feeling like all bumpy and like that. I like a little bit of give. Makes me feel smoother at least.
So are you on a carbon frame?
I'm not. No, I'm on aluminum, I'm guessing.
So is it the RS7 that you ride?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you have before that? Like
I rode a
before
Claiborne.
That? Okay. Very cool. Those are nice.
Yeah, it was a really great frame. I rode those for 4 years, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Before that.
So did you just take the parts off the Claiborne, swap it onto the Supercross, or did you just build a brand new bike?
I built a completely brand new bike.
And you still have the Claibornes?
No, I don't.
All right.
I had to give them back because I was on their team and they gave them to me, so I, gave them back to them. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have just one bike?
Yeah, I do. So it's kind of confusing. I have my race bike, and then my brother's frame is actually the same exact thing. So we've kind of tried building it to pretty much just like mine. So in case something does happen, all we have to do is like switch the cranks and the bars, and it will be the same thing as mine. But really, I have one bike.
I've seen some people have a race bike and then they'll have like a training bike. No,
I wish I could, but I don't have that.
Which I think is kind of weird. I think you should train on the bike you're going to race with, even if it's set up the same. And I don't know, it's just my thing.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get it, and I don't, because I'm very particular. Like, this has to be this way and the exact way. I wouldn't maybe be able to do having this bike for this and this bike for that because I'm just not like that. But I do get it in the sense, you don't want to get your nice bike dirty. You don't want to take that out and get a flat tire or, mess something up before your race weekend or something like that.
Right.
And how often since you know how to work on your bike, how often do you check your bike? I mean, when you go to the track, do you check your bike before you put it on the track to make sure everything is tight?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I've seen some people check their tires every moto. Is that something that you do too?
No, I really only check them when they feel like a little bit low or something's wrong. Then I'll check it. But I try not to think of that too much because then I get to, oh, this isn't perfect or this isn't that. And I try to just block it all out. It'll be fine.
Let it roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use the Scores transponder on your bike?
I have one. I haven't really used it just because I forget I have it, honestly. I have this other little timer. It's called a cat eye. And it tracks like my miles per hour. So like I go off of that, like my top speed. But
Which is
for here on a good day, well, the track changed now. Before it was like 29 to 30 through the first straight. Now it's 28-ish. But
So, and the reason I asked is because I'm a volunteer at a track in North Carolina. We had a meeting, a Zoom meeting last night, and somebody mentioned that we're going to be getting the scores timing system. And one of the parents there, he has 2 kids that race a lot, and they have it. He just said how much it's helped them, like the kind of dialing the gearing for each track, and
it's very beneficial. We have one here. I want to say we like turned it off when we redid the track, just so it wasn't just running. And we're obviously going to turn it back on this weekend. But I honestly just forget I have it because mine, when I bought some parts for my bike, it came with it. So it was under someone else's name. So I had to change that over. So I just completely forget because
he just looked at me like, "Yep, there it is." my buddy gave me one, and then when I asked somebody, I won't say where, but
who'd you ask? Where were you at?
We won't say we pulled up to where we pulled up, but they made it sound like you couldn't transfer it over. It just it was like it belonged to that person. It is what it is. But
I didn't know we could do that either, but I just called USA BMX and they're like, sure. I was like, cool. I have to buy one now.
Awesome.
So they gave you the transponder with a part. Yeah, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah, it was with my forks. It was already on there. So
they just left it on there. I guess they were quitting the racing or something, Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you were to have your own dream team, and you're coaching at some point or whatever, and you had your own dream team of the current riders, who would be the top 5 women that you would take?
Like out of anybody?
Yes.
Like,
if you had to make a team sheet and hand it in, who the 5 is going to be on that team sheet?
And at their prime, any time frame at their prime.
One girl would definitely be Avon Beatty. She's from Metro. She just got picked up by 09, and she is absolutely killing it. This is hard. My friend Sierra Samhammer, she is a powerhouse. She is awesome. I definitely put her on my team sheet.
Okay.
That's pretty hard. There's a lot of people that race.
Right. Would you put Elise Willoughby on your team?
Oh yeah. Definitely. Probably if we're gonna go there, Ava Corley. I mean, she can always throw down a good lap. Obviously, she just won this weekend in New Zealand, right?
She killed it. For sure.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay. One more.
Probably someone that Landon Burian. I'm not sure how to say her last name, but she's been doing really good. She's like really fast. She seems like she's won a lot.
Okay.
I like watching her ride. I think she's 14-ish. She's very good.
Wow.
Yeah.
The name sounds familiar. I've heard that name before. Sure.
Yeah, she just got put on. She was on Rift now.
Oh wow.
So.
Okay. My mind had another question, but then it kind of just lost it for a second. Shannon, you got one?
We just this national is coming up at your track, and a lot of people are going to be coming in. They're going to want to know. So let me just back it up a little bit. At Rock Hill, that 5-meter hill, it goes into a transition and it hits a tabletop like immediately. A lot of people halfway down the hill, especially like the intermediates, the new guys, or if you've been to that track just a few times and not familiar with it, I've seen enough people just crank down to the hill halfway and then just kind of coast into the transition then maybe start pedaling, because it's a scary thing. That's to me, that's
I had to get over that. Yeah.
To me, that was the
It's definitely
scariest part
awkward.
of the track. Yeah, it is, like hitting it to continue pedaling through it. So that was the trick everybody told me. Like, you have to continue pedaling through the transition, and that's the trick to that track. If there was one tip they were to give me, that was the tip. Is there like one tip you could give people that are going to be coming to Metro that they need to know for this track? Like,
you can never pedal enough. Really, there's so many spots on this track that it may not look like a big gap, but you can get a pedal in, and that will help you out. And really, you need to stay smooth. Staying smooth on this track is going to do you a lot more than bouncing around. Obviously, every track, but like our second straight, you definitely want to stay smooth right there. It takes a lot of people out just because they're trying to do things. Putting a pedal in between the rollers, I definitely would not. No.
I've seen kids do that before, but then there was the
I used to do that a lot when I was younger. That was like my thing. It was a habit I had to break when I was like 11.
Also, I think because their cranks are so short, they're not going to hit anything.
I just did it because I thought I went faster, but then I learned really it's just quicker to just put all your power into pumping.
Right.
Because I saw Ronnie Kim do that one time. He was coming down a rhythm section, and over every like the backside of every hump, he was just pedaling like a half of pedal, half crank, half crank, half crank, half crank. It looks so cool, but I was like, is he gaining any speed? I just wasn't sure.
I mean, I do that sometimes, like when I panic, like if I'm out in front, I will do some panic half pedals. Right. It still happens, but I can only do it because I used to do it when I was younger, so my brain will like automatically think of doing that. But really, I don't think I gain anything off of it. I think it'd be better if I would just stick to what I normally do and just, Okay.
I mean, how much do you think like pump tracks or like just doing pump laps at your track help?
They're very beneficial. I usually do that like as my warm-ups, just because a lot of BMX is pumping. I mean, every race, every jump, you're having to keep your tires down and all that. So I think you can never be too good at it. Really, that's how I think of it. I'm never going to be a pro at it. I can always learn to be better.
Right.
I tell kids that all the time. They get to the end of the race and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired," and da da da. And I'm like, how do you get, just build up your cardio is like really just because at the end of a pump lap, you are done. You're finished. So get a pedal in here or there, that it helps you out. But a full pump lap with no pedaling is brutal sometimes.
It is, yeah. But it's really good to do for training,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else. Do you have anything else you want to add, Shannon?
Nah, that's it for now. Thank you so much for coming through. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This is really fun. Yeah, I've never done this before, so I was excited.